good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 New York International Children's Film Festival. My name is Maria Cristina Villaseñor. I'm the Programming Director of NYICFF, and I'm so pleased that you can welcome us. This year, for the first time ever, we're online, and it's such a pleasure to have audiences across the country joining us, so welcome. We hope you've checked out some of our films already, especially Calamity that we're going to be talking about today. We are so excited to have Rémi Chayé here joining us, and I just want to go through a few thank yous before I bring on Rémi and we start our conversation. We are so grateful to everyone that helps to make our programs possible. So a thank you to our NYICFF staff, to our board, our interns, our programming committee team, and all of our wonderful partners and supporters everywhere, and with a special thanks to UniFrance for making our French programming possible. We couldn't do what we do with our nonprofit mission without you. Our goal is to bring more intelligent and more diverse films to kids across the country, and we are grateful to everyone who is a part of this. If you're not already a member, you can go to our website and find out more about how to join, and we hope that you've checked out our amazing 14 feature films, 7 short film programs, and wonderful Q&As like these that we're having through the 14th. So please have a look at our full program if you haven't already. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and kick off this very special making of talk for Calamity. Calamity comes to us from France and is a co-production with Denmark, and a special thanks to Maybe Movies for helping to organize our talk today, and also again to UniFrance. The film won the Cristal Best Feature Award at the prestigious Annecy Animation Festival in France and is on the Oscar long list and nominated for many awards, and it's an extraordinary film that we are so excited is gaining all of these accolades. And we're thrilled to be sharing it with you at NYICFF with Rémi Chayé. So welcome, Rémi.
Hello, how are you?
It's such a pleasure to have you back, in fact, because you were last at NYICFF with Long Way North.
It's true, yeah, several years ago.
It has an enormous fan base, and I know that our audience has been waiting Calamity for the years now that we've been hearing about it, having little glimpses in it. So today we're really excited to have this extraordinary amount of material that you have to share with us to really tell us about the genesis of this great, incredible story of the strong female. So I just thought that before we kick off, Rémi, we'll maybe just immerse our audience back into the story world of Calamity by taking a look at the trailer.
Okay.
Hey! Hey! Hop, 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 hop!
Martha Jane, c'est quand qu'on arrive?
Bientôt. Quand on arrivera en Oregon, les chariots s'arrêteront. Et on se construira chacun une vraie maison.
À vous, les canaris!
Accrochez-vous, les enfants.
Calme!
Vous avez la jambe et 2 côtes cassées.
Qui va conduire le chariot?
Moi, je veux bien conduire le chariot. Je peux apprendre.
Ne raconte pas d'âneries, jeune fille. Qu'est-ce que tu fais avec ce pantalon?
Bah, c'est pour les chevaux.
Quelle calamité! Je ne tolérerai jamais une telle tenue dans notre communauté.
Tu t'appelles comment déjà?
Je m'appelle Marcus.
Faut qu'on se débarrasse de cette chaîne.
Tu fais moi le malin maintenant, tête de boule.
Rarement vu une fille aussi mal élevée. C'est pas une fille.
La petite dame aurait peut-être du travail pour 2 orphelins.
Moi, je peux passer.
Non, c'est trop dangereux.
Vous employez des filles maintenant?
Ouais, et celle-ci est très efficace. Aussi efficace que mal élevée.
On m'appelle Calamity. Calamity Chaye.
It's so great to be in the story of a girl coming into her own in so many ways and in this historical period, and there's so much richness in terms of the art in it. So there's clearly a relationship in some ways between your storyline in Long Way North and in Calamity, but it's also a very different film. So I wonder if you can just start out a little bit by telling us about what first inspired you. What were the first inklings of Calamity coming into being for you?
Well, the first the start was watching a documentary about Calamity Jane. My producer just asked me if I had a new project that he would be happy to hear about it, and so I was looking for new ideas. And during this documentary, that they said that Calamity had traveled along the Oregon Trail, and that triggered my imagination. And I imagined immediately that her father could have had an accident, and so this girl is pushed in the man's life. Like she have to drive the carriage, she have to ride the horses, she have to, and her life changed a lot. And because she have lots of characters, she have a lot strong mind. When she's asked to go back to her girl's life, she doesn't want to accept it. And so I thought that it was very powerful, and there were loads of potential here for a film, because I knew that this legendary character Calamity was in the frontier, in the edge between the boys and girls, the representation of boys and girls. So it was a subject that interested me a lot, and so I asked two scriptwriters to join me, Fabrice de Costil and Sandra Tosello, and we start to write a little bit about it. And we several weeks after, we asked Henri Magalon and Claire Lacombe, the producer of Maybe Movie, if they were interested by our subject, and that's how it starts.
I love how you're inspired by this documentary, this true to life tale, but you already have that filmmaker's impulse of like, okay, what if the father dies? What of adding, this fictional element? So maybe for our audience, we can take a look at our first set of slides that talks about the start and just kind of tells a little bit about the true to life Calamity as we know her, and you can talk about that. So if we could see the first slideshow, please.
Well, the truth about Calamity Jane is very, very blurry. It's a giant cloud of lies, actually. So we know exactly when her family begin the journey to the west. But 2 years after, we have a trace. A journalist said that three children of Canary were begging after a very hard winter in Montana, in Virginia City, Montana. So in between those two elements, two milestones, we don't have nothing. So it's we suppose that she had traveled along the Oregon Trail, but that's just a supposition. That's a logic supposition. But apart from that, it's all fictional. We had to create everything from here. And we did through different elements. One is this book that we see now, the Life and Legend of Calamity Jane from Richard Etulain. It's a very interesting book because it goes through the facts and the documents. You have seen a little document about the census, so we know exactly where she was during this census in a farm in Missouri. And he destroyed all the legends one by one, all the lies of her sister, of herself, about everything. So it's very interesting because he goes to the fact, and because everybody lies about her, even during her life. Actually, loads of journalists and novelists start to use her character to create sometimes. Outlaw, presenting her as an outlaw, sometimes presenting her as a vengeress, with two big guns and with long hair and doing justice on the West. So it's and the character of her was very inspiring from the very beginning. And so when we were writing with Fabrice and Sandra, we had this heavy conscience that we were sort of in a queue of a long history of people that novelist, songwriter, cinematographer that use her character to say something about what it is to be a boy, what it is to be a girl, and what this fantastic character very subversive in a way creates to the society, and the impact of her is huge.
Right, so it's really interesting that, you know, we know about Calamity as an adult, and people, you know, as you say, shaping it according to, you know, her deciding not to hew to, you know, traditional female dress and presenting herself a different way and projecting. So it's so interesting that you take that character and think about the childhood of Calamity, which we know nothing about, and so really thinking about, you know, what maybe some of these choices were motivated by.
Yeah, that was the idea, was to create a movie that said what could have been her childhood, and what this childhood could have influenced the character that she became, and the other reason is we want to address this movie to kids. So it's the best way to address it's using her character as a child. She's 10 years old at that point, and so it was the perfect thing, because we had a sort of freedom on this period, because and it's the reason why the subtitle of the title is one history, I don't know, one childhood of Martha Jane Canary, because it's our childhood, it's the childhood that we decide to tell, but that could be others, that could be a different version of this childhood with different authors.
Right. And I like that you use the word freedom, because I think there's, you know, there's obviously a freedom that you're depicting in Calamity deciding how she's going to present and be in the world. But there's also the artistic freedom that it seemed to set loose in you and your team. So I wonder if we can just take a little look at another behind the scenes, and you can tell us from there about, you know, what set you all free to just start experimenting. And we saw a little bit of those beginning designs, but let's take a look at it in some early imagery as well, and then we'll talk to you. I love that. There's just such a great energy and looseness and sense of play in there when you're first, you know, sketching and starting to think about motion. So tell us about how this magic starts to happen.
So what you've just seen is an editing of the animatic, and an animatic is an object very specific to animation object that we do before fabricating the movie itself, the image themselves. So it's we have those storyboards. It's the work of 5 different storyboarders that you have seen here: Liane Chauhan, Maëlys Valade, Alexis Ducor, Barry Taren, and me. And so it's we work in very close situation with the editor Benjamin Massoubre and the scriptwriter. So it's a sort of small team that push the story as much as possible before when everybody is happy with the draft of the movie. We are doing it, and we stick to what is decided at that point. And so it's very quick drawing. It's very energetic. It's very, the idea is not to even to make beautiful drawing. We don't care. The idea is to decide how we're going to tell the story and how we react one to the other, and that sort of thing. So it's a step. It's a phases that I love a lot. It's the moment where really the directing of the staging, the music, everything comes together, and after that it's a question of pushing the story, pushing the animation, pushing the background, but the narrative, the arc of the story has to be here at one point, and that's a very interesting work.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because you definitely, you know, that's where the energy just jumps right out in that little example. So maybe let's take a look at some of the imagery behind the character design. So obviously, Calamity has such a distinctive look, I think, in terms of most animation and representation of girls and women, that we are super excited about. It's just, it's powerful, and I will let you put it into your own words as we start to look at this slideshow. So if we could see the slideshow, please.
So this is the one of the first drawing I made. This is the first one. The gray, black and white is the real first one, and then the little one is one of the first. And when I decide that that she would have those big eyebrows and a nose like a little potato. And I was inspired by the photograph of what I've seen, but as you see, the style of Calamity Jane is very simple and very there is no details, so it's very very simple shape. And so we had to interpret the reality. It's not we didn't want to be too close of the reality. We have another version with a very small nose. It was a discussion we had with the producer and with the investors. At one point, they were telling me that her big nose was a problem because she didn't look so cute, and so I accept to make change with her nose. And in fact, a friend of mine, and especially Maëlys Valade, said to me, "Oh, you're so wrong. She will lose all her character. Please don't do that. Girls don't have to be pretty when they are the hero of movies. So if you do that, you are contradicting all the things we are working for." And so I said, "Yes, you true, Maëlys. Thank you very much, not to let me lose." And so we decided to go with her this nose and with a very strong eyebrow that gave us the strong look. I don't know, regard. I don't know how to translate that, but you can see that very often she have the eyes that are touching the eyebrow in the frame. So it's
very strong reactions as well when you said in terms of both her look, but also how she responds and animates her face.
Yeah, and the actress that impersonates Martha Jane was Salome Boulven. She was 10 years old, 10 and a half at that point, and she was really impressive. She made the voice are made with our process. The voice are made when the animatic is finished. We record the final voices, and we re-edit a little bit the final draft of the animatic, and so it's a sort of a radio theater, something like this. I don't know the name exactly in English, but theater on the radio. And so
it's audio and thinking about how that conversation happens without imagery, right?
But she really impersonates the character and gives the kick to all the animators after, because they are, when the animators are working, they have the audio on the headphones, and they work with the voice of Salome every time. So she really starts to build the character as it is. Mm-hmm. And she's shy, actually, but it's very funny because
the actor is shy.
Yeah. In real life, she is.
Interesting, yeah, and I love that that back and forth that happens, between the character design and then the strong young 10-year-old voice actor propelling the animators forward. So it sounds like it's always a little bit of a dance, a creative dance, huh?
Yes, it is, and it's built. You build something, and you don't see exactly where it goes, but every time you try to push and to push and to push, and it's I really like this job.
We really like this job for you too. So, and then we saw just at the end of that little sequence, it was a big image of, like, it's almost like an animator's census, right, of all the different characters that you in fact had to create and animate.
There were loads of character in Calamity. We have something like 40 or 50 secondary character. It's a lot. And so and the movie itself was sort of heavy because we had loads of character. We had the carriage, 20 carriage, horses, the cows, so it was and loads of character in the same time in the screen, because Calamity Jane is merely alone. She's very often with her horse, with her dog. So it's a lot of things to animate. So it was comparing to Long Way North, where Sasha is a princess, and she's sort of calm and courageous, but calm. And here Martha Jane is a fidget, and she's energetic, and she have a big mouth, and so she was moving so much and loads of work for the animators.
You're right, yeah. By creating a lively character, you create 10 times more work for yourselves, right? Love it. So speaking of that, of that, what is required to convey that character accurately in her energy? Let's take a look at our next clip, which sort of shows this character design come into life. So if we could look at the lasso clip, please. The lasso clip. So I love how that beautifully represents how the landscape itself is a character, right? She's experiencing this great freedom. She's shed her, girls' constricted clothes, but she's also taking off into the landscape. And you see that wonderful scene where the stars are reflected in her eyes and the clouds. So I wonder if we can now segue into you sharing with us the development of the landscape. It's so extraordinary and it's such a powerful character itself. So we can take a look at a deck perhaps, and you can tell us about this extraordinary creation of the world.
So this is the structure of the convoy. So we had named all the carriage by the name of pioneers that I found a list of pioneers, a real one with plenty of names. So I used it. This is you have some studies from the height because the Wyoming is very high, and so you have a special blue far away when the mountains of the Rocky Mountains appears. They have a very specific sort of blue, which is linked to the height of this plateau. And so that's the work of Edin Noel and his team. It's the what we call layout. This is the first stage is the sort of scenography, and after that they developed the final background in black and white, which is for us guaranteed to have a sort of the composition is already here in terms of values, in terms of grayscales. And after that, the other team, the color background team, put those beautiful colors with the team of Patrice Huot. And Patrice Huot is a painter that go outside. I don't know the name in English. Outside painters, the one.
In fact, it's in French, a plein air painter.
Yeah, plein air. So he have loads of experience with the oil painting outside, and he used this experience and those emotions that he had during the. I can have an example like when you have the clouds are coming on the painter and suddenly move away, and so suddenly all the colors are lighter. And so your eyes are full of light, and you have sort of lighting effect like that. And so those things he wanted to transfer to the landscape, to the work of the landscape, and to the work of. And what for me what it does is very realistic, even if the colors are crazy sometimes. But the light that are some of them we experience it during a sunshine or that sort of things. You have everything is red, and the full environment is full of red light, and so suddenly your eyes are working completely differently. And so that sort of things, and the olfactive ideas too. That sometimes I feel that you can smell the earth, or the earth with a little humidity because it was raining before, that sort of thing. So he knows how to render that sort of light. And
for instance, here you have the sense of the dryness of the landscape, and yeah, it's incredible just the different considerations of what you're saying here. And this coloration, tell us a little bit about the color process of conceiving of it and actually working through it.
What he does was what he did was working with the technique of the Impressionists and the Nabis, which is another school of another école of art during the beginning of the 19th century. They use loads of strong colors, very saturated colors, and putting one to the other, sort of very pink with a very saturated pink, and another green, apple green, so that sort of thing. So you have a vibration, and it creates a sort of light effect. And the other things he worked with was because he's used to the oil painting, he reduce the choice of color to the natural pigment. So here, when you have colors on all the movie, when you have colors, they are, even if it's digital, there it's a mix between a Veronese green and a real cerulean blue, or the real pigments are used and mixed digitally. But it's never a random blue or a random green. It's all every time. So the general environment of the movie is the same. That's the environment of oil painting, and especially the beautiful American landscape art. That you have a very big scenery for that in US.
Sure, yeah, that's really interesting. So just a little bit for our younger viewers, this idea of taking inspiration from a painting landscape, and when you're actually painting with pigments that come from the earth, right? So you might have like an ochre color of that kind of earth.
And insects and that sort of thing. So all the oils, natural pigment for oils, are made with leaves, insect shells, earth, that sort of things. And so they are putting everything in powder, and after that they are used as colors.
And then that translation between like a physical oil painting to the digital, that would be the inspiration that you'd then like strive to work with on the computer, or how would that happen?
Yeah, and the other big influence was the poster, the vintage poster from the train during the 40s, 1940 and 1950s. You had those posters that sail some destination for a private company in America. And you had those very spectacular framing, sailing, I don't know, a Lake Dakota, or I don't know, Three Tetons, or whatever. But it's every time it's a beautiful drawing, very simple, and the technique is serigraphy. And so generally it's 5 or 6 colors, no more. And so the shapes are very strong, very well drawn. And so it was an inspiration for us to keep it simple, and to have the same sort of simplicity for the character and for the landscapes.
Okay, so that like printing process of like you have these bold sort of swaths of color. Yeah, you definitely see that in the film. But it's so dynamic, the color. It's both motivating emotion. It's talking about the environment and how they have to struggle to keep up. Yeah.
That's what is strong with animation. It's that we have the tools of the cinema, of the cinematographic language. So it's editing, and it's staging, and it's that sort of grammar that we use as all the cinematographer. But we have the tools of the contemporary painters too, because we can put emotion in the clouds, we can twist the light, the color of the sky to create emotion, and to support the emotion that the character goes through. So it's what I like in animation. It's that we have those two forces that help us to create emotion for the audience. And we wanted the color to be a very strong experience with this movie. We wanted to create something that the audience will have plenty of colors at the end of the movie in their eyes.
Yeah, it's breathtaking in that way. So speaking about a little bit about the ending of the movie, I mean, what do you feel like you would like the big takeaway or the big impression for the audience to leave with?
With the movie, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
there's so much to think about. There's this great story of this amazing girl who takes the reins literally and figuratively. There's this incredible visual element. There is so much. What do you feel like your maybe boiled down goal was in this?
Well, first of all, what I like to do is telling stories. So I like when people at the end of the 1 hour and 22 minutes, they just forget where they were, and they had sort of they are surprised to be here and at the end of the movie, and they say, oh yeah, I met I met somebody, and I like when they feel that Martha Jane is now a character that they're part of them because they met her, and that's the what I want to do. And the other things is obviously to create some alternative model for kids, for especially to create some alternative model for girls. And to have this rough big mouth girl, and I think that it's really necessary that that we have that sort of model for them. And I some oldest older woman came to me at the end of the movie, and they said that that's the movie I would have liked to see when I was young. And that's I like this, but it's in general, I like to create alternative models, because if you can talk a little bit about the father, for example, because I like the father, the character of the father, because it's not a strong father, it's not a reassuring father. He's a little bit of a coward. He's a authoritarian in a way, in his cowardice. And I feel sometimes that in especially in animation, you have too much of a big a reassuring father with that have no question about their fatherhood, and their and I feel that if you have only that sort of models, people, I mean, there are in the world, we have here and there some father that are not really strong, that are a little bit weak, and that they are not good as father. And so if you have only big reassuring perfect father, it's awful for the kids that don't have that sort of father. So I feel that it's very important to have different father, different mother, different girl, different character, and that to have lots of diversity in the different characters too. And so it's the way kids are projecting themselves in the movies, is they feel that it's okay, it's normal. Sometimes father are weak, and it's okay if mine is weak. It's no more a question. See what I mean? I'm not probably unclear because it's not my mother language.
You're super clear. You are super clear, in fact, and I think that that's what our audiences really appreciate. You know, certainly at NYICFF, you know, we have a girls POV program, sharing your long way north. It's really important for us to be showing other models of being, and you know, models that break out of a gender dynamic as well. That
but we want to do it with lots of fun too. What was important for us, it had to be we had to play with it. We had to play with the fact that she liked to disguise herself. So she have plenty of different disguised in the but she met somebody that liked that is lying about his clothes too, the character of Sanson. So it's we wanted to play with Jonas discovering that she's a girl. That's it. We had to have fun with this situation.
Exactly, yeah, that it's a sense of play, and you know, that kids can craft their own identities. It doesn't have to stick to somebody else's definition. But speaking very importantly of giving you know, kids a voice in other models, I want to turn it over now to the kids themselves. So Rémi, if you would be so gracious as to allow us to share some kid questions with you.
Yeah.
And okay, great. So we'll go to our first one, and our first kid question, I believe, is from a Piwe.
Hello, I'm a Piwe Montabella, and I live in New York, and I'm 9 years old. Was the animation in the Calamity film real paintings that you actually drew, or did you make it using a computer?
Yeah, it was computer. It was computer, definitely. We would have liked to make it with real painting, but it's probably too long to make it now, and it's so easy to make it with digital. And so it's you've seen, I think that you understood that it was made by digital, but it's still painting. I mean drawing. It's drawn on the screen like this, and with sort of it's a device that are screen and like tablet. I mean, you know that already, kids now, and so it's made by hand. So all the drawings we had 12 drawing per second. So it means that in the whole movie we had something like in between 56,000 to 60,000 drawing to animate everything.
So there was plenty of handmade in there too, eh? 60,000 drawings. Amazing. Okay, our next question is from Ivy.
Hi, I am Ivy Smith. I am 9 and I live in New York. Why was it important to you to add girl power into the movie?
Because it's important for all the society that girls, that problem for girls change and that girls have more power now. I think that it's all about the movie is all about that, and it's a very important fight that I really support.
Excellent.
Makes sense? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. And we also, we're big partners with Women in Animation. So strong stories of girls on screen and behind the camera, and Calamity is just a great conversation to have. So make sure that you invite other families and other kids to watch it with you. Okay, so next question is from Tristan.
Hi, I'm Tristan, and I am 10 years old, and I'm from Queens, New York. Which character was the most fun to create?
Yeah, obviously for me it was Martha Jane. Martha Jane was the most interesting character that we had. She's obviously the big one in the movie, but what works very well was the couple. Can I say couple with Martha and Jonas, the guy that she met in the forest, and so that relationship is for us was loads of fun. And it's a moment on the movie when the pressure goes a little bit away. So it's a moment that we have loads of comedy, loads of lying, loads of strong relation with those two characters. So it was a lot of fun to have those two kids arguing one to the other.
All right, our next question is from Lori. Lori.
Hi, I'm Lori Smith. I'm 8 and I'm from New York. Why did you do a dog, not a cat?
That could have been a chicken too.
That's a fair question. The dog is fabulous, but why not a cat?
Why not a cat? Why not a chicken? I don't know. We choose to have a dog because it's a funny one that follow easily the character during, and it's very important character in the movie, because the dog takes Calamity to Sanson at the end. So he decides at one point, I don't know if it's very clear in the movie, but the dog decides to stay with Martha Jane, and I like that that he does that.
Nice. Okay, I think we have time for just a couple more questions. There are a couple of live questions that came in that I want to share with you, and they're both really good. First, we'll start with the practicalities, which our young audience always wants to know, the numbers. How long did it take you to make the film altogether?
Altogether, it was 5 years. It's 2 years of script writing, 1 year for the animatic, this specific objective animation that we do, and 2 years. It's 28 months of fabrication of for the frames, for all the background, for the 1,400 backgrounds, for the sound effects, for animation, everything. So it's very quick.
Yeah, I almost imagine that it was maybe not 10 times as long, but twice as long as that. That's extraordinary. It's both a really long time and a really short time, given the amount of effort that it went into it. Okay, our final question, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap up, but it is a very good question, which I probably should have asked you from the start, and I definitely want to know. How did you get into creating animation? When did it first start for you, or what was that first spark?
It was a bit by luck, because my plan was to go for a comic book, to be author of comics. And it didn't work very well. I ended up to be an illustrator. And at one point, a friend of mine said to me, if I had no work, I had no job, and I was looking for, and he said to me, you should show your drawings to animation studio. And it starts like that. I went to the studios, and I discovered those guys that were working together. And for me, that I was working alone in my studio since I think that it was 4 or 5 years. And I discovered the teamwork and all the collective idea that animation put in place. So it was something that I didn't want to go out since.
I love it. Well, it's very fortunate for us that comic books didn't work for you. So we are very happy that you went on to have a flourishing career in animation. And I think it's also important for kids too, you know, that this sense that sometimes the best thing that can happen is that something doesn't work out because something else needs to be.
It's true. It's so true.
It's been so much fun to talk to you, Rémi, and so extraordinary to have this look behind the scenes and look at your team and everything that went into this really powerful film. So thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very nice. I hope that I will see you in real life at one point.
Yes, yes, we have your badge waiting for you, your filmmaker badge, and we are determined to get you sued. And everyone, please, I know you've enjoyed Calamity, share with your friends. We're so excited for it on its awards journey. So make sure you drum up how fabulous it is. And thank you again, Rémi. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Ciao.